Firefighters
Morning,
may get
everybody.
a brief reprieve as they battle raging bushfires. There's going to be a little bit of rain today as well as lower temperatures. Here's a Rural Fire Service Commissioner.
It'll be a reprieve of sorts. It'll be a psychological reprieve for many, but it's certainly not going to be the sort of relief we're looking for.
Fans are buzzing about the future of superstar quarterback Tom Brady after the Patriots were eliminated from postseason play with a loss to the Tennessee Titans. And this is USA Radio News.
If you're not sleeping as good as you should, take a tip from me, Wyatt Cox. Go to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener special, and use my promo code USA. Buy one, get one free special on a MyPillow is going on right now. And if you don't like it, you have 60 days to send it back. Try it. You'll believe it's for me. It's worked for over 2 years, and it'll work for you too. MyPillow.com radio listener special, and use my promo code USA on a MyPillow premium pillow.
Corrections officials say 2 inmates at a prison farm in northwestern Mississippi are currently unaccounted for, and the search is on for David May and Dillian Williams after neither man was found during a head count yesterday at the state pen for men also known as the Parchman Prison Farm, the 2 serving time on aggravated assault convictions. An indicted associate of President Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, can now turn over data to the impeachment probe, as we hear from USA Radio's Wendy King.
A federal judge has ruled that Lev Parnas can give Congress phone data and documents related to the impeachment investigation. The House Intelligence Committee issued a subpoena for the materials in its impeachment inquiry. His attorney says he expects the data to include documents from his Florida home and a complete readout of his iPhone. Prosecutors say Giuliani recruited Parnas and another associate to help President Trump dig up dirt on former Vice President Joe Biden in Ukraine. Prosecutors allege they made donations to U.S. politicians on behalf of foreign interests and filtered foreign money through a bogus energy company. Parnas has pleaded not guilty. For USA Radio News, I'm Wendy King.
And some expensive sushi about to hit Japanese restaurants, a bluefin tuna selling for the equivalent of $1.8 million during the first auction of the year at the Tokyo Fish Market hours ago. And for USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVBF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests. Hey, Joey, what's happening? I mean, what's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's time for the Middleboro Weekend Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news, Middleboro news, here on AM 1530 WVBF. Hey, Joey, what's happening?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the January 5th edition of Middleboro in Review. It's now 2020. It's a new decade, a new year, and the first Middleboro in Review of 2020. So good morning, everybody. It's a little bit of a snowy Sunday morning today. But I don't think it's going to be that snowy. I think it's supposed to stop with no snow accumulation. So let's check the weather. The weather right now is cloudy, 35 degrees. It will get up to 39. And the low will be 23. Monday also will be 39 degrees. Tuesday will be 42 degrees. Wednesday, 40. And Thursday, 33. Those are all sunny days. The next forecast for rain will be Friday. It will be 52 degrees on Friday. And it's also supposed to rain Saturday and Sunday, with Saturday being 56 degrees and Sunday being 46. In Taunton, we have 34 degrees, and it's also a little bit windy out there. In Taunton, it's about 15 miles per hour with the wind right now. So we have a lot to talk about today. We'll talk a little bit about the Patriots, a little bit about the NFL playoffs. They continue today. The NFL playoffs continue today. The Patriots have been eliminated. We will talk about that a little bit. We'll also talk about the Middleboro Citizens Police Academy. That will be happening in the next few days. Actually, it starts on Thursday, January 9th, and will be running till March 19th. That will be 10 weeks. So the time to sign up for that is slowly running out. We'll also talk about some of the events that are going to be happening for Plymouth 400. We are in the year 2020, which means there will be a lot of events in Plymouth, and we'll be talking about those events today and also throughout the next couple of weeks. And we'll also be talking about a event that's going to be happening at the library next month. So we have quite a bit to talk about today, and it's going to be a very fun and informative show today. But I want to start off with Middleboro basketball, girls basketball. That started off the year 4-0. Had a game against Norwell, and Norwell was able to beat Middleboro, and they have given Middleboro their first loss. Girls basketball of Middleboro was given their first loss against Norwell this past week. So just wanted to mention that as well. We have quite a bit of sports that's going to be happening in Middleboro this month. It's basketball season. We're right into it now, and about a few weeks in now to girls and boys basketball. So as the season goes along, there'll be more to talk about when it comes to girls and boys basketball, and we'll follow it, and we'll follow their progress throughout the season. So with that being said, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the Middleboro Citizens Police Academy a little bit with Dawn. So we will be right back here on Middleboro in Review on 99.7 FM and 1530 AM. We're also on TuneIn. If you type in Hometown Talk Radio, you will find us. And also, we are on Audio Now. And the number for Audio Now is 1-605-562-7958. We'll be right back here on Middleboro in Review.
Hi, this is Jim
Remember,
Blacken.
no Tony
Hope you can join me every
No,
Sunday
nope,
from noon
I'm not
to
gonna.
That was funny. That was the
here
last
on
of the
WVBF,
Tony
the
promos
sounds of the
played
old
yesterday on
South.
your show.
We'll have
Yeah.
some great Irish
That's
music.
funny. That's an error.
Traditional, country, and contemporary.
Hey,
and
what's-
sometimes
can you check my
live
levels?
singers in the studio.
Okay.
To make you laugh, some
Well,
Irish comedy.
you can't do it.
That's
I can't do it right
Sundays
now.
from
Well,
noon
just
to
keep an
two,
eye on it.
right
Because
I will.
I was
WVBF,
breathing real heavy.
1530
So
Taunton, Middleboro, and on the
just
internet at
check. I'm
hometowntalkradio.com.
gonna go away from the
Yeah.
mic. Just check my levels. Make sure. Spark Street Auto Body, located at 48 Spark Street in Brockton, Massachusetts.
It's funny, too. We were
offers the
talking
highest
about
quality collision
we had to
repair
play- we
and
played
complete auto
Spark
service
Street
for
Auto
your
Body.
car.
Yeah.
They are a
I was
direct
listening, you never
repair
did.
shop for all major insurance companies. You can reach them at 508-583
Oh, well.
Make sure you play all your commercials.
They're open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and 8 to 4.
So we're going to talk about a little bit about the
Call
police,
them today. You
police
will not be
Citizens
I
Academy.
think you should join.
508-583-14.
I haven't signed up
I
yet.
might throw you under the bus when I'm here.
I haven't signed up yet, so don't do that. I don't know if I'm gonna sign up. Don't do that.
DK Driscoll Mobile
Oh,
Services
you
is a
gotta shut my
company
mic
to
off.
call to get
Yeah,
any
I will.
cleanup you may need to get around
Show
your
you the
house
first time.
done any time of the year. You can call them at
Oh, I gotta find this guy. This guy.
725-2334. They remove construction debris, metals,
I
railroad
can only
ties,
play it on the
tires,
computer
appliances,
if you wanted
paints,
to do
Yeah, I
that.
don't know.
much,
I don't
much
think we-
more.
Yeah.
Like concrete, brick,
Do a little more research.
asphalt, yard removal, brush, logs,
That's
and
funny.
leaves.
It
Also,
popped up
basements,
Eastside Access.
attics,
You use my phone or
garages,
your phone for that?
houses, and property in general.
In the car.
Probably your
Again,
phone.
Oh, okay.
The number is 508-725-2334. Call them today. You will not be disappointed in DK Driscoll Removal Services.
You can't play Searchlight promo either.
Okay, you play Tom's next.
Yeah, I mean they're right next to each other, but I'll play them.
And the PSA, right?
PSA is
Driscoll
no longer
Construction
relevant because it's
is
after
based in
the
Wareham,
holidays.
Massachusetts,
Oh, okay.
serving the South Shore area and Cape Cod for 30 years. They
We'll play that on
specialize in
the
septic
PSA.
repair and
Oh
landscaping.
yeah.
Call TJ Driscoll Construction at 508-735-7966.
Get another one from that guy.
Septic repair.
I'm gonna talk to him in a few
Is it
weeks.
just for the
Retaining
holidays?
walls, foundations,
What?
and
That
excavation.
PSA?
Lawn
What
installation,
PSA?
tree and
The
shrub
one that's not relevant? How's it
Yeah,
not relevant?
the district attorney one. Yeah, because that's only for the holidays.
The motorcycle guy.
Oh no, the motorcycle guy. That's fine. I'm playing that next. I'm playing that next. That's fine. But the other one from the district attorney, that's only for the holidays,
Yeah, oh, yeah, I know.
and it's that's the holidays. I
is an
don't really want to play
association
it.
of combat veterans from all branches of the United States Armed Forces who ride motorcycles as a hobby. Our mission is to support those who have defended our country and freedoms. Our focus is to help veteran care facilities provide a warm meal, clothing, shelter, and guidance.
So,
Or simply to say
Williams
thank you
Trading
and
Post,
welcome home. We have
I
members
guess they
from
closed
nearly
on the
all
23rd.
50 states and living abroad.
Okay.
Many members continue to serve in
And
our armed forces. with
usually
several
they're
serving in combat areas now. We
reopening
sponsor and or
March
participate
usually.
in many
So I'll mention that on there.
motorcycle-related charity
Well,
events
Usually
each
they're
year.
gonna.
And as a
Well, in the next few weeks I will.
organization,
Yeah,
donate
I don't need to do it
various
this week.
veteran
Mention it real
care
quick,
facilities and veteran charities.
I
To
wanna
learn
know.
more about the Combat Veteran Motorcycle
oh.
Association and how you can join or support,
I turned
please
these
visit
commercials into infomercials for those guys.
cvma2-2.org.
And welcome back to Middleboro in Review here on WVBF. And we are joined by Dawn.
How are my levels, baby?
Your levels seem to be good.
Really?
Speak something.
Levels, baby. Levels.
Oh yeah, they're good.
Are they?
Yep, they're good.
I was listening to that repeat show. Boy, I sound like Darth Vader. Breathing on the mic. Like, Joey, you got Darth Vader in there? Who's that Darth Vader guy? He's at WVBF. Doing an interview with Joey, a Middleboro interview. But are my levels good?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes, they're good.
Okay.
They are good. They are perfect.
No more heavy breathing.
Okay, so Don,
Yes,
what
sir.
are your thoughts about the Middleboro police citizens thing that the Middleboro is putting on, and that they will start on January 9th and end on March 19th? I just want to get your thoughts on that.
When's January 9th? Thursday?
Thursday.
I think it's a great opportunity. And again, Chief Perkins is outstanding. I've been impressed with him since he started. I think he's thinking outside the box. He's getting people involved with and bringing and helping the people help the community, I think, in my opinion. I think you should join, Joe. Okay? That's it. Throwing you in the oven, buddy.
Yeah.
Because, what's it, 1 day a week, you said?
It is, yeah. It's 1 day a week.
I think you should be all over that. Because you have a show representing Middleboro,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Probably the only show that was two. I know Jack Haley and Lauren Decker have Middleboro Matters. They still at the same time?
Yes.
Thursdays?
Yes.
Thursdays? Mm-hmm. So I think it'd be important just to be hands-on.
Yeah.
Because you are,
Definitely.
you are part of the media. Mm-hmm. You do have a show representing Middleboro, and the surrounding towns. Get a flavor for what's going on in Middleboro, as Tony would say. So I think it's important that maybe you should try, and that way you can see something from the inside, something that's, you got the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's an evening, right? 6 o'clock?
Yes.
And how long does it go for?
I don't know, actually. A couple hours, I think.
All right. I just think it's a great idea. I think more people are going to show up than what they had planned, I think.
Yeah, so if you want to join, there's still a couple more days to do so, I believe, so.
Would you just contact the police department?
No, well, I'm not sure. I have to look at the article here, and let me find the article on how to do so.
Carried under all those papers there?
Yeah, I have a lot of papers that I didn't bother throwing away. So
Okay.
this might take a second to find it, but I will find it for sure.
Okay.
And so you were showing me something.
I'm kind of looking for it. I think next week I'm going to dive more into it. But last week we were talking about the derailment, the commuter rail, and the MBTA has an image problem, in my opinion. They could learn from New York City so much, I think. Just the MTA for New York area, they have a spokesman who's been pretty much a salesman on their projects. I found him online talking about the East Coast, East Side Access, which is the tunneling project from the main line on Long Island over to Grand Central Station. And this guy keeps popping up. Other projects going on in the rail system. It's pretty much Long Island Railroad, I think. But the guy is a PR guy. And he is really good, I think. I just love this guy's voice. He's like a salesman. He's like selling you something. It's like selling you something. But I think it's important. I think the MBTA should do something like that. They should kind of make it more user-friendly. Make it cool to ride the T. I don't know. I don't hear nothing. All I hear from the T is breakdowns, derailments, fare increases, delays. I understand that happens, especially with the system. A lot of switching tracks. I understand that, but they could do so much better job just by listening to this guy. So I'm gonna maybe get some greatest hits from him for next week, and people will know he's just great, and he explains everything in such a nice way. I can't explain it. I just found this guy online about 5-6 years ago, and I've been trying to. I look for him. I try to follow the guy. I don't know his name, but I'll try to figure all that out after next week. That's all.
Okay, so the Middleborough Police Department, they have this program for free. So the program is free. It will run January 9th to March 19th. Interested parties can contact the police department for more information or stop by the station to fill out an application. Seating for the class will be limited to 30 people.
Okay.
So that's the information. If you want to contact them, you still have a couple days to do so. I'm not sure if the capacity is at 30 yet, but if it's not, then sign up for sure.
I think, again, not to throw in the oven and all that stuff, but I think if you did join and you could have something to report about, and I think it would be the success of the program that you were there. Because you go there on a Thursday or whatever day it is, and then you could talk about it on Sunday when you light up the mics.
Yeah.
Sunday mornings at 7 on WVBF 1530 and 99.7 FM. So that's important, and I think it will really help. I just think that it'll be successful. Sounds good. Sounds like it's to be successful, and I think if you show up as a personality, as a big star, I think it might work out. But that's just my humble opinion.
All right, so the Middleboro Library is going to be holding an event called Wales and Whaling History by Charles Chance. And that's going to be happening Monday, February 3rd from 3:30 to 5. This is going to be a program, an event about Wales, whaling history, the history of it, and several other aspects when it comes to that. And I think it's going to be an interesting event to go to. If you're interested in it, it's definitely the event to go to, for sure. Again, it's going to happen February 3rd, 3:30 to 5. I'll be there. I'm definitely going to this event. I find this stuff very interesting. I want to learn a lot more. And if you want to learn a lot more about this too, it's the time to do it. February 3rd, 3:30 to 5 at the Middleboro Library. Your thoughts on the event?
Yeah, go baby, go Joe, go Joe, go.
Yeah, I think it's just an interesting event to have.
It's your history.
It's history, yes. It's
And
history of the area.
And I'm sure that they talk about the saving of the whales and the preservation of the whales. They must go. They must go into that, right? It's just not a.
Yeah, I think they're gonna go into other aspects as well.
I think they're gonna have to, yeah.
And it's gonna just be very informative, and I think it's gonna be very interesting. So, I encourage people to go to this event, for sure.
The Middleboro Library has a lot of good events.
Yeah, they do. They have a lot of great events. Last year, not sure when it was. I think it was during the beginning of the year, like February or something along the lines there. I went to an event about Iceland, and that was a very informative talk as well. So they have a lot of great people who come in to talk. They just have a lot of great speakers who come in to talk about certain subjects, and this is another good event to go to if you're interested in this, for sure. So I'll be mentioning it throughout the next couple of weeks until February 3rd to get the word out there to go to this event, for sure, because it's going to be very important. These events are very important to the Middleboro Library. And they put on some really good events. So now it's come to the time in the broadcast, usually around January. Well, this is our first January here, but the NFL playoffs have arrived, and Wild Card Weekend is this weekend, yesterday and today. The Patriots faced the Titans yesterday, and they were not able to win. The Titans played a better game. The Titans were the better team, and the Titans picked up the victory. I congratulate the Titans. They go on to face... I will find out information in just a second. They will. Hold on 1 second here. But yeah, the Titans did win last night in a very thrilling game. Both games that were played yesterday were very thrilling. Buffalo and Houston was also a really good game. Houston ended up winning 22-19 in overtime against Buffalo. Buffalo was very, very close to beating Houston, but they were not able to get it done. So now Houston is going on to the next round along with Tennessee. Today's games, Minnesota versus New Orleans and Seattle versus Philadelphia are also going to be on the docket for today. So in the divisional playoffs, the Titans will face the Ravens and the Texans will face the Chiefs. So it's going to be interesting week next week for the NFL.
Who do you like
Who do I like now?
now?
Yeah. I'm gonna throw my support behind New Orleans. I
Okay,
think.
yeah.
They have the quarterback. They have the team. They have the offense. I don't know too much about how their defense has been doing, but I know that they have the offense. They have the players on offense to get it done, and they have the quarterback to get it done as well.
What do you think they're going to be playing, if you were to guess?
If I had to guess, they would probably be facing. It's kind of tough. I think they'd be facing either Baltimore or Houston. Houston really impressed me last night. They played extremely well. And I think they're a really, really, really big contender for a Super Bowl appearance this year. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to happen, but I think it's going to be New Orleans versus Houston or New Orleans versus Baltimore.
You know what the sad part about the Patriots losing? And they can't win every year. I mean, they've been a really good team. They've really taken care of the fans over the years. They've really been good. They've really pulled it through. We're kind of spoiled, to be honest with you, with that team. I think a lot of people, a lot of businesses were counting on the revenue another game over here would bring in. Would there be another game if the Patriots say did they win? Would there be another game here, or would they all be on the road into the Super Bowl? How would that play out?
No, there wouldn't have been another game. Here.
So I think you told me yesterday.
Unless there were some major upsets in the playoffs.
I get it. Because
yeah,
a lot of businesses really do well when there's playoff games around here. Hotels, restaurants, merchandise, and all that stuff. It's just big money. But we're a big country, and the merchandising's just got to go somewhere else in part of the country. It's just how it works. That's why we're called the United States of America.
Yes.
And the business is got to go to another part of the country, to another part of our brothers and sisters down in Texas or Tennessee or New Orleans or wherever. So.
And when the NFL season ends, football does not end. There is a new league. Well, kind of a new league. They're reintroducing this league. It is the XFL. They are giving it another try. Vince McMahon is giving it another try.
Vince McMahon?
Yeah. Vince McMahon. Yeah, Vince McMahon. He started this.
How long ago did he start that? It was years ago. It was in the 80s, wasn't it?
No, he started it in the early 2000s.
And it didn't make any traction?
No, it had, I believe, one season, and then it ended up
But
folding.
the WWE franchise is so much powerful than it was even 20.
Yes,
20 years
yes,
ago.
it's a lot more. It's a lot more powerful. He has a lot more.
It's always been good, but for some reason now, in the last 5 years, I don't know. You watch it you've been watching it since you were a kid.
Yes.
You haven't stopped watching it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there was a time where I kind of stopped watching it, but now I'm starting to watch it a little bit more. Now,
Right.
the product is good. That's why I watch it. The product is good.
Yes.
So,
It's entertaining.
yeah, and Vince has a lot of money to throw at the XFL, and I think this time around, it will succeed. They will be starting, I believe, the second week of February, just after the Super Bowl.
That's awesome because all you have left is hockey and basketball.
Yes.
And if you're not a hockey or basketball fan, then you have nothing till baseball season starts in April. And I know a lot of the baseball fans, they love the idea of the games in late February and March.
Yes.
In Florida.
And when you're talking about a football league that's just starting out, I mean, people saw about the American Allegiance Football League. It didn't turn out the way that they wanted it to. It didn't even get through one season of football. They just didn't have the resources. But this time around, the XFL is coming in, and I think they have plenty of the resources to be successful. I don't know if that translates into ratings, big ratings for the league. I don't know. We'll have to see next month.
They give it the college try, right?
Yes, they have to give it a try to see how successful it is. Because it's also the best time to do it too, because February is when pretty much all the football ends. I don't think there's Canadian football during February. The NFL is obviously over, and college football is done on the 13th of this month, which is next Monday. Speaking of that, it will be Clemson again. It will be Clemson versus Ohio. Oh no, sorry. Clemson versus LSU. Clemson versus LSU in the college football playoff national championship.
So that's the last college game.
That is the final college game of the season. Yes. Yes, it is.
I remember, am I wrong, but they just keep bumping it up more.
The end of the season?
Well, it just seems like it's late for a college game. It's always around the 1st or the 3rd or the 5th. They always play the last game. Now it's all the way up to the 13th. Any reason behind that? Or just
a lot of bowl games. The number of bowl games has risen exponentially.
So they're pushing it halfway up to January.
Yes.
College, you never really hear much about college playing, I'd say it's close to mid-January. 13th is almost halfway point anyway, for sure.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's just interesting how things change and how things just get bumped up.
All right, so next week we'll continue the NFL playoff talk, but enough of it for now. We'll be back with it next week.
But we want to thank the Patriots for a good season.
Absolutely, they had a good season.
They had a good season.
It didn't end the way we wanted it to, but
it seems like a lot of the fans are just spoiled.
Yeah, but
they can't win every game.
Yes,
That's
but
how it is.
I know the Patriots will come back stronger than ever next year.
People are like heartbroken. It's like their best girlfriend broke up with them or something like that. Just get over it. All right? Don't be crying all week. All right? It's over. All
yeah,
right?
So
they lost.
Plymouth 400. Let's change subject to Plymouth 400 because it's here. It's 2020. And we're a few months away from the first major event of Plymouth 400, which is this. On April 17th, 2020... Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, 2020.
Wait a second. No, that says 2019. So it already happened.
Oh.
Okay.
Old news.
All right. Now we have... this is what we want. April 24th, 2020. Plymouth 400 opening ceremony at Memorial Hall in Plymouth. Guest speakers, artists, and others will take part in a ceremony and spectacle honoring the past and celebrating the future, according to Plymouth 400. So yeah, there's going to be some big guest speakers, I hope, during this event.
Sure.
There'll be artists.
I'm sure they will.
And
they gotta get some. They're not gonna get Guy Smiley. They gotta get somebody.
They're gonna get somebody big.
They gotta get somebody.
I think they're gonna get somebody big as well, and it's gonna be a good event. As we are in, the next couple of months here. We also have heritage tours led by the New England Historic Genealogical Society. 2 tours, one in June of last year and one the following year, which will be happening in June 2020, will take participants to the Netherlands and England, respectively, to trace the history of the Mayflower and the Pilgrims, from the town in Holland, where some once lived, to how passengers boarded the ship. More information is available on the Society's website. So these events are going to be happening within the next few months, and they are very interesting events. I definitely encourage everyone to go to these events. And there's many more here, but we'll mention them as the weeks go along here, because there is a lot of events to talk about. Some of them happening in June, August, September, October, November. Thanksgiving in Plymouth will be huge.
Next year, sure.
It will be huge. Yes. So,
I bet that will be the sought after ticket.
There'll be a lot of stuff going on. Also, September 7th through September 14th, the Mayflower 2 will be visiting Provincetown.
Wow.
Yes. So that is going to be huge.
I wonder if they're going to let passengers on. Like a lottery and let some people... Or is it just going to be the lucky few?
I'm not sure.
I wonder if it's going to sail on its own power, or it's going to be towed.
I hope it would sail on its own power, because that would be cool.
Well, I think it probably would be. Be interesting to see that. I assume it would be. I just can't see a tug pulling up and just towing it. But
Me neither. So we're going to take another break here on WVBF 1530 AM, 99.7 FM. We're also on TuneIn. Just type in Hometown Talk Radio on TuneIn, and you will find us. And also the Audio Now number, 1-605-562-7958. We will return in just a few moments.
Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association is an
How am I level?
association of
Good.
combat veterans from all branches of the United States.
Good
Armed
enough.
I find
Forces
myself breathing
who
through my
ride
nose. I'm not
motorcycles
sure
as a
why.
hobby. Our mission is
Like
to
I got,
support those who have defended our country and freedoms.
I don't know.
Our focus is to help veteran
You say
care
I've been saying
facilities
I'm a lot.
provide a warm meal,
Back up off the
clothing,
arms.
shelter, and guidance. Or simply to say
But you
thank
know what? I
and
was listening to a lot of the replacements.
We have members from nearly all 50 states.
It's
and
BZ
living
when
abroad. Many
when,
members continue to serve in our
we're not-
armed
we're not
forces,
broadcasting,
with
are we?
several
No.
serving in combat areas now.
when they're on,
We
when they're on,
sponsor
you know,
and or
a
participate
lot of the
in many
anchors,
motorcycle
they have
related charity
that
events
Christmas
each
time
year.
off, so they got a lot
And
of
as a
placements to come
nonprofit
in.
organization,
And boy,
donate to various
they're not
veteran
much
care
better than you.
facilities and
You know what I
veteran
mean?
charities. To
Really?
learn more about the Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association and how you can join
Do it
or
enough,
support,
you'll be able to
please
get
visit
that audio system.
cvma2-2.org.
What do you got on today in history? Anything good?
Oh yeah, today in
DJ
history.
Driscoll Mobile Services is a company
Almost forgot about that.
Talk about prepping for your show, huh?
I mean, I have it. I have it. I just almost
Are
forgot
you the
about it.
zero prep guy?
I almost forgot about it. I have it already all
Are you the
set.
zero prep guy?
I know. I have it all set already, but
They remove
I just almost
construction
forgot about it
That's
because.
that's a good ring
railroad
voice.
ties,
Zero prep guy.
tires,
Zero prep.
appliances, paints,
Alright, I got it up.
and much more.
Yeah, we got
Zero study guy.
we got a few. We
Zero
got
prep
a, yeah,
guy.
no.
Yard removal,
We have a few to talk about.
brush, logs, and leaves.
Maybe we'll just do it when we
Make
get
sure
back.
You play all the commercials.
Yeah.
And you didn't mention
Garages,
William Trading Post.
houses,
Did you?
and
I'm gonna.
property in general.
I'm gonna.
Again, the number is
As soon as we get back from the break.
508-725-2334. Call them today. You will not be disappointed in
more chronicles?
DK Driscoll's Mobile
Yeah.
Services.
Actually, no. Couple
Yeah, you
more. A couple more.
Yeah, you gotta play.
Like
Sonic
3 or 4
Dream
more.
Song.
Yeah. And this too.
Hi, this is Jim Larkin. Hope you can join me every Sunday from noon
3,
to 2 o'clock here on WVBF, The Sounds of the Emerald Isle. We'll have some great Irish music, some folk, traditional, country, and contemporary, and sometimes
I'll
some
look
live
this guy
shows
up.
in the studio.
Should be able to
and
play
make
that
you
YouTube
laugh
stuff
some
on
Irish
video, right?
comedy. That's Sundays from noon to 2 right here on WVBF.
I don't think the
1530 Taunton, Middleboro, and on the
MTA is
internet
gonna come
at
after us.
hometowntalkradio.com.
if we do so.
Spark Street Auto Body, located at 48 Spark Street in Brockton, Massachusetts, offers the highest quality collision repair and complete auto service for your car. They are a direct repair shop for all major insurance companies. You can reach them at 508-583-1495. They're open Monday
this
through
have a promo?
Thursday, 8 to 5, and 8
Yeah.
to 4 on Fridays. Call them today.
Kind of.
You will not be disappointed.
They got WVBF promos for like the
1495.
station and stuff.
TJ Driscoll Construction is based
Last
in
commercial.
Massachusetts. South Shore.
I'm gonna talk about Williams Trading Post a little bit.
Alright,
They specialize
And
in
then-
We'll talk about it because we were supposed to say it twice, so we'll.
Yeah.
Call
And
TJ
then
Driscoll Construction at
we're gonna
508-735-7966.
do the
Septic
today in
repair,
history.
new septic
Because I have
systems,
quite a few.
retaining walls,
And then
foundations,
after that,
excavation,
we
lawn
are gonna do
installations,
your
tree and
rants.
shrub installations. TJ Driscoll Construction. Again, the number
Alright.
is 508
Rant on something. I can't remember.
7966. Call
Just
them
be
today.
radio friendly.
You will not
The
be
brag
disappointed.
And we're back here on Middleboro in Review, here on WVBF, and Williams Trading Post. We just want to mention them as their season has come to an end. They closed just a week or two ago, and they will reopen sometime in either late March or early April. We just wanted to mention that, and when it gets closer, we'll have a definitive date for everybody. But until then, just wanted to mention.
We're gonna keep it on everyone's minds because that's the go-to place. This is the Williams Trading Post, in my opinion. How are my levels, baby? How are my levels?
Good.
All right.
Absolutely.
They are a really good company. They're really orientated on customer service. Every time I've gone there, I've gotten help. Found what I wanted. Very happy. They seem to have everything. So why would you go there? It's right on Route 28. What's the address, Joey?
The address for Williams Trading Post
I'm
is
surprised you don't know that by heart. I really am.
556 Wareham Street, and
That's in the beautiful
that's in Middleborough
Middleboro, Massachusetts.
on Route. What route is it on?
Route 28.
Route 28.
And
Yes, it is.
Right. No need getting the number out because they are closed now. But
Yes.
I believe this year will be 71 years in business. So we thank them for sponsoring the show.
Yes, we do.
And we hope that they have a great 2020 season.
All right. Let's do Today in History. We have...
You know how that sounds?
What?
You realize how that sounds
What?
to the listener
What?
when you grab the mic like that?
I know.
It's just... Larry does it all the time. I hear it on Larry's show all the time. I was like, oh, he must be grabbing the mic again. Those things are loud.
Yes.
Yeah, very loud. That's why I'm sitting back here. I'm not even touching my mic. I'm not breathing heavy. How are my levels, baby? Good?
They're good.
All right.
They're good.
No heavy breathing today.
All right. We have
What is
one...
it, a comedy show?
We have one Today in History to talk about.
One?
It's an important one, though.
Okay.
1933 on this date, construction of the Golden Gate Bridge begins in San Francisco.
Wow.
Yep. That's an important one. That's a
Wow.
very important one.
Sure.
The Golden Gate Bridge is one of the most iconic things in this nation, along with the Statue of Liberty, the Washington Monuments.
But I believe the George Washington Bridge was built first, though.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I've launched a boat underneath the George Washington Bridge years ago. 1998, actually. And they have a boat ramp right underneath the New Jersey side. And when you launch the boat, you're looking up, and it's just massive. And you got the Hudson River there. And anybody who's seen this movie Copland with Sylvester Stallone, Ray Liotta, Harvey Keitel, Robert De Niro was in it too. Everyone was in it. The end scene is where that boat ramp is. If anyone remembers that movie, it's right at the end scene where he's just looking over the city, and the other deputy pulls up, and where Sylvester Stallone's with his police car, that's the area. And it's so, just to look up over that bridge, you just feel like a little midget. You feel, you don't feel too, it's just massive. So I can understand the enormity of building the Golden Gate Bridge, because I think it's bigger. I think it's bigger than the, I never had the opportunity to drive over it. I hope one day I do.
All right. We have 3 birthdays to mention today. The first one, 1932, Chuck Noll, American football player and coach, very legendary coach, NFL, very legendary coach and player. 1928, Walter Mondale, American soldier, lawyer, and politician. He was the 42nd Vice President of the United States. And finally, for birthdays, 1942, Charlie Rose, American journalist and talk show host. He is the host of I think it's called The Charlie Rose Show on PBS. I'm not 100% sure what his show is called. I think it's called The Charlie Rose Show. It's on PBS, I believe. And that show's been on for a long time.
Is it still on?
I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not sure if it's on anymore, dude.
I'm not 100% sure if it's on. But I know it's been on for a while.
I'm not going to say that because I'm not 100% sure, so I'll just shut my mouth about that. But going back to Walter Mondale, man, what do you say, he's the 42nd Vice President?
42nd Vice.
That's funny how that works, because he's the 42nd Vice President serving under the 39th President. So the alignment got a little messed up there. Because I know Spiro Agnew, he went out early. And somewhere in the between there was some extras, because I know in the early 1800s, I don't think they replaced the vice president for a while. I think John Tyler didn't have one after. I hope I'm getting my presidents right here. But after William Henry Henderson died, I think John Tyler was his vice president, and he didn't have a successor, so he didn't have a vice president for the rest of his term. Kind of, I'm gonna look into that. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I think I'll look into that.
History of the U.S. presidents and vice presidents, it's very interesting. And also, history on elections as well in this country.
Everyone thinks these elections are nasty. Now, they're more nasty than ever. No, they're not. They've always been nasty.
Yes.
The election between John Quincy Adams... No, John Quincy Adams and Andrew Jackson was one of the most nastiest ever.
The election of 1800 was very hard fought as well, and it was decided. It wasn't decided by the electoral votes or anything. It was decided by, I believe it was the House of Representatives that decided.
Everyone thinks it's so bad now. People got to read their history. I think it's like a Sunday school teacher compared to what's going on, what went on in the past. Nothing's really changed. Don't be alarmed, folks. That's politics in the United States.
And of course, I believe it was the 2000 election with Bush and Gore. That was a very tough election as well.
Well, that was decided by the Supreme Court, and party line decision on that. So maybe that's something we should read into. Maybe some elections over the years that were disputed. I remember you talked about one about a couple of weeks ago, where the House of Representatives it was one vote, and I think it was between Jackson and John Quincy Adams.
Yes.
And that dogged John Quincy Adams' administration because he couldn't get nothing done because it was such a cloud over it. I think historians say that John Quincy Adams did more as a representative from Massachusetts later on than as president. I'm not 100% sure because I never read all about John Quincy's accomplishments, John Quincy Adams' accomplishments. And it's funny, too, because he was the son of John Adams. So.
Actually, it was the 1824 election, not the 1800 election.
You talked about that.
Yes, 1824 election.
December 1st.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes, I did.
You had time to read it? You had that
last
December
month.
1st?
Yeah.
We talked about that.
We talked about that a little bit. It was decided by the House of Rep.
Do you have a little read there? We got a little time, right? We got 3 minutes.
Yeah, the House chose John Quincy Adams as president. This was the first election in which the winner did not achieve at least a plurality of the national popular vote. The Democratic Republican Party had won 6 consecutive presidential elections and was the only national party. The Congressional Caucus nominated Treasury Secretary William H. Crawford for president, Senator Andrew Jackson, House Speaker Henry Clay, and Secretary of State Adams all joined Crawford in seeking the presidency. A fifth candidate, John C. Calhoun, withdrew, instead choosing to run for vice president. So this was a very interesting election for sure.
And it's funny, too, because it just goes to show how resilient our country is, our people, how strong our people are. Because 1824, country's 48 years old, not even, 1826 was the 50th anniversary, bicentennial, and we're squabbling. Nasty politics.
Yeah.
But that's the U.S. But it's nothing new, folks.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. You just read back and always read back at history because everyone thinks they throw the towel in. Hey, look, it's bad out there. Oh my God! You know what? So what?
Yes.
But it's just politics.
So we have 2 deaths to talk about today. The first one, 1933, Calvin Coolidge, American lawyer and politician, the 30th President of the United States. He passed away on this date in 1933.
Yes, he was the mayor of Northampton, Mass. Northampton, I'm thinking. And he was the governor. He was born in Vermont.
Yep.
And he was sworn into office up in Vermont. And there was also talk that was it legal, the swearing in of him, because it was, I think it was done up in some town in Vermont, and I think it wasn't by the Supreme Court, it was by some judge up in Vermont, a local judge. So that was really interesting.
And the final one we have today, 1943, George Washington Carver. He was an educator and an inventor, very famous inventor. So he passed away on this date as well. And that brings us to 8 o'clock on January 5th, 2020. And that brings us to the end of the show. We will be back next week for the January 12th edition of Middleboro in Review. Until then, have a good week, everybody.
Have a great week.
All right.
Any bites on the Facebook today?
No. Quiet week.
Yeah, let me call the service. See what kind of horror you wait for.
You are listening to the voice of Southeastern Massachusetts with news, sports, and talk. AM 1530 WVBF and FM 2599 DD 99.7 Middleboro, Taunton.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
After President Trump orders a bold attack that kills Iran's top military leader, there are huge demonstrations in the streets of Iranian cities. And here at home, anti-war protests in some 70 U.S. cities yesterday. This woman took part in one in New York's Times Square.
I'm incredibly worried. I think every American should be very worried. This was an act of war.
Meanwhile, soon after Iran said it has 35 U.S. targets in the Middle East ready for possible
See you guys later.
strikes in retaliation.